All right, so it's coming together. I've got it tacked up here on the front and the back of the down tubes onto the primary. This obviously is going to be at an angle, so I'll be cutting this off here. So just to make sure I have enough clearance here, but it's in, it fits, and then it runs down there with that 45. But it's looking pretty good, not too shabby. All right, so the last piece is actually in. I don't know if you can tell, but this is about a 15-ish degree kickback. And so the plan is to now take and I'll cut this back at a similar angle, and then I'll just plug that in with a piece of sheet stainless. But they're all tacked in except for this one. This one will get tacked in tomorrow. I'm done for the night. But yeah, so all of these are straight 90 down, but then this one is about 15 degrees back just to kind of send it back, but also to clear the front A-arm there. But yeah, it's coming along. It's not bad. All right, it is day 2 of finishing up the exhaust manifolds, these log manifolds. So let's show you what we're working with here. So the plan is, I'm pretty sure I'm done with the tubing notcher for now. I don't think I actually need that for the rest of this. The rest will be massaging this one down until it fits right, fits correctly. And then for these ones, normally what I do is I'll notch first and then cut the flange side. But on these ones, I'm gonna actually cut first on the flange side, and then the way that it'll work is I'll take, and as I come in, I'll just swing this down and trim until it fits right. Now, this one, this cylinder is gonna I'm gonna try and bring it down until it's around 90 degrees, but this one's gonna have to come in about like this just to make sure I have enough material. So that'll be the plan for today, and then we'll see how the rest of it develops, we'll see how it goes, but I'm gonna get to work and get to kind of trimming and grinding, and I'll be using the grinder more than I will the notcher. So we'll just get to it. That and the belt sander. The belt sander is going to be a huge benefit. So. All right, so what we've got now, I just went ahead and put some marks on the center lines as reference points. This isn't where they're gonna end up, but it just gives me a reference point because I'm gonna end up using this one as a datum and then build this one off of it to make sure, and I'm just gonna tack weld it over there at the TIG welder, and I'm gonna tack this one in, and then I'm gonna use that rough area to make sure this one's at the right height, it's oriented correctly, and then I'll tack both of these to the main primary tube. That's when I can start working on these. So I'll do that now. I'll get these tacked up, and then we will start moving forward, and hopefully we'll start getting these trimmed up in a not too distant future, hopefully the next hour or so. All right, so the exhaust manifolds are made here for the wagon. We have both the driver and the passenger side set up and made. So what we end up having is, I'll show you the driver's side now. This is the one that I've been working on for the last few days, just to make sure everything's tucked in, packaged well, and looking decent. So everything is fitted up decent. What I need is an extra hand to finish tacking this up. I mean, it's ugly, but I'm new to TIG welding, which is fine. But it's actually aimed down and put in the right direction so that I can actually get a crossover. You know, this is going to end up getting trimmed off, and we'll just cut that down. That's just extra for now, but I just needed to make sure everything was going to be packaged and actually going to fit. And then if we look, here's the driver or passenger side, which was a little bit easier only because there was less stuff going on and I had more room to work with, but I was able to actually run 3 of them just straight down. This one only took about a day and a half, but the one on the driver's side here, this one took about 2 or 3 days, just because I've never done this before. So with that, you know, this moves this project into the next phase, which is going to end up being put the fenders on, make sure everything's going to fit, but I've got to pull this engine out, redo the seals, make sure when it goes back in finally it's going to be leak free and everything's going to work properly. So, because I've never run this engine, this is an engine that I found, and it was an engine and transmission, and it turns over, but I just don't want to deal with any major leaks or problems once we're done. So the exhaust manifolds was a bigger project that needed to be done because I couldn't find any that fit for this vehicle. So now that they're complete and they're built, well, you know, it's on to the next phase. So we'll get this engine pulled out probably next weekend. I'll go pick up a front main, a rear main, start looking at all the other seals, head gaskets, new head studs, and then intake manifold, all those things that are gonna leak and cause us problems down the line. I'll start picking that up and start getting it put in, because in the next couple of weeks, I hope to have this thing running and driving, because why not? I've got time. So yeah, this is one phase complete, and I'm excited. I'm glad it's done. I learned a lot, but at the end of the day, it needs to be running. So that's kind of the next phase. Start working on the electrical, start working on the fuel system, and get that run from the fuel tank up to the engine, and, you know, make a couple videos on that as well.